large law firm, but then served as a federal prosecutor, presenting cases to grand juries and seeking federal indictments and then pursuing those to trial. And after that, served as the law director of the city of Cleveland, where I was also the chief prosecuting attorney for the city of Cleveland, and have, as I said, been managing partner of my own law firm for the last 10 years. And we do criminal defense work, among other things, civil rights work in our practice. I'm going to take a slightly different approach in the hope that I can be maybe not create confusion for you. So one thing I did want to clear up, because we also always want to make sure that a grand jury process has integrity and fairness. I don't mean to single you out, Mr. Marshall, but you're not going to let the fact that I'm very fond of your baritone singing voice influence you in any way in your deliberations, right? So you'll rely on the facts and the evidence and not the fact that I'm a fan of yours. Okay. All right. So I'm going to present two cases to you today, and the way that I'm going to present them is as if, because ordinarily in a grand jury process you won't be hearing from the prosecutor as if the prosecutor is testifying to you. The prosecutor's role is not to testify to you. The prosecutor's role is to seek some sort of a result from you in the pursuit of justice and to seek justice, but to present evidence to you, present witnesses, present documents through those witnesses. Now, one of the differences between a grand jury process and, say, a regular trial process is that you can rely on hearsay evidence during the grand jury process. So, for example, instead of hearing directly from a witness who tells you they saw something, you can, as grand jurors, rely upon a police officer or an investigating agent who comes to you and says, I went out and I interviewed these witnesses and here's what they have to say. Now, you still have to assess the credibility of that officer and determine whether or not you think they're being truthful, and maybe not even intentionally misleading you, but perhaps they're just mistaken or they're confused. So you still have to engage in the same kind of credibility assessments that you would as regular jurors, but you are permitted, because the grand jury process is intended to be a more streamlined, more efficient process, even if that risks a miscarriage of justice on the assumption that any such injustices will get corrected later down the line. So for that reason, the way I'm going to present this to you as part of our exercise here is as though you had already heard from an investigating police officer, let's say, or FBI agent, who is presenting to you the results of their investigation. Maybe you've heard directly from some eyewitnesses who were at the scene, who testified to you, and what the role I'm going to play, as if it's a kind of a closing argument, and I'm summarizing what you saw, because maybe the investigation took place over the course of a couple of months, one day here, one day there, along with all the other cases that you heard. And so I'm just simply trying to tie it all up and summarize it for you. So